3ds Max has a special camera control called a clipping plane, which allows you to determine custom cutoff points as to specifically how far into the distance the camera can see. The feature comes in especially handy in situations where you might want to visually cut into or past an object or area of your scene. An example might be to look into the inside of a mechanical part, or maybe through a house's roof line to inspect the layout of the rafters or the contents of the attic. To show you how the option works, I'm going to be using a file named Clipping Planes. It can be found in the Working Files folder. With the camera viewport active, why don't we start by rendering the view. The camera sees as you would expect, from the front of the scene all the way to the back. When you activate a camera's clipping plane option, the camera will only both see and render the geometry that falls in the visual range of the clipping plane. Let's close our render, then select the camera. We'll then activate the Modify column, heading down to the category called Clipping Planes. Now once we get there, we'll go ahead and activate the Clip Manually checkbox. Once doing so, let's type Shift-Control-Z so we can see the full contents of our views. Okay, see the red rectangle at the end of the camera? Anything past the point of the red rectangle will be clipped or cut off from being included in the upcoming renders. Why don't we pull that red clip line back a little ways closer to the camera? To do that, we'll adjust the far clip value under the clipping planes in the Modify column. You can see just exactly what's happening in the camera view as you make that adjustment. I'm going to take my far clip value to right around 400. Let's now render again and we'll see the difference that's made. With the clipping plane intact, you'll notice that everything below the blue marker in the middle of the view has been cut off. Let's take that back just a little farther into our scene, placing the cutoff just in front of our last object, the pink marker. I'm going to take my far clip right around 590 or so, then zoom in the left-hand view so we can see how that looks closer up. Let's render again and we'll see the difference that new change has made. Now we go back a little farther as to what the camera can see, still though not reaching the farthest back area of our scene. Let's go ahead and close the render, then hit Shift-Control-Z one more time. Now there's also a near clipping point or plane on the camera, which enables you to adjust the distance viewing area of the camera so that it actually starts seeing not at the camera itself, like you normally would think would be the case, but get this, in front of the actual camera's physical position. Now, this is a technique that then offers the opportunity to cut into or cut away in a specific area or on a specific object in a scene. Let's see if we can't cut back to, let's say, right behind the green middle post. Back in the Modify column, I'll this time, using the spinner, be adjusting the near clip. The spinner doesn't seem to be moving very far or very fast. So let's hold down the Control key as we adjust the setting, which will change the near clip value more aggressively. Basically, pushing farther back into the scene where the camera begins to view or see the objects. Now, if you look in the left-hand view, you'll see how the near clip plane has been pushed farther away from the camera's position. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that so you can see that a little bit closer up. Let's again render the camera view and we'll see how things look. What makes the clipping plane feature even more flexible is that both the near and far clip values can also be animated, which really opens up the possibilities. Let's do this. We'll close the render, then type in a couple values for our clipping planes. I'll set the far clip to 650 and the near clipping value to 100. Once I do that, I'll type Z in the left-hand view so I can see the starting ranges for both the near and far clip. Okay, down below the timeline, let's now activate Auto Key. We could also opt to use instead the keyboard shortcut, the letter N. Grabbing the time slider at frame 0, let's now pull that over to around frame 170. Let's now see if we can't cut away the front part of our scene. We'll take the near clip to right around 230. Let's now turn off the Auto Key and activate our camera view full screen. Once we've done that, we'll go ahead and play back our animation. Why don't we also return to 4 views, then play back the left-hand window. As the timeline plays, you can see how the near clipping plane is being adjusted to go farther back into the scene. I'll go ahead and save this up as Clipping Planes Completed if you'd like to go in and take a look.